Japanese accent sounds bad. They sound like they're gonna say the coolest thing, drink a fucking whiskey, play like fucking bass, finger your girl, cut your head off.
And we are back with another episode of Asian Not Asian Podcast, a podcast where two Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no American cares about. I'm your host, Fumi Abe.
And I'm Mike Nguyen.
Today is May 22nd. Coming up on our last week of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We hope you've had a great month and that white people have been giving you money.
Hook it up.
Hook it up.
Send your Venmo to these people. All right.
If you're listening to this on your phones, please take a screenshot, tag us on, put it on Instagram stories, tag us at Asian Not Asian Pod, and if you're an iTunes listener or iPhone user, please leave a review on the podcast app. Before we start the show, we always give a shout out to our newest Patreon subscribers by guessing their ethnicity purely based on their last name.
Yeah.
So here we go. We have a lot to do
We do.
because a lot of people have been signing up, and the people with tricky last names have been coming through. So let's just get right to it. Newest person this week, Aline Kemp.
Aline Kemp.
A-L-I-N-E Kemp. K-E-M-P.
This person seems like a mixed person. Also, I feel for some reason when someone is named Kemp, definitely played lacrosse or field hockey.
Ooh!
Field hockey Asian.
Field hockey Asian.
Yeah.
Hey. Next we got Anji Liu, L-I-U.
Taiwanese.
Okay, but here's the thing. Angie spelled A-N-J-I-E. That's a little South Asian to me.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like Anju? Like an Indian name, Anju?
Yo, Madagascarian.
Yes. Madagascarian Asian. Matt Telker.
Okay,
These are so interesting.
I know who this guy is.
You do?
And I can't believe that you're giving me money because this guy is like my coworker. And
are you embarrassed right now?
I'm not embarrassed.
Did you know that he was a fan? Did you know he was
I do. He Hi Matt. He will he'll talk about the podcast and in the meeting, and I'm like,
in the meeting?
Chill, but in a company meeting. I'm like,
I
hey
hate
man.
that.
Hey,
Yo,
man.
chill.
Chill. No, but thank you, Matt. That's really nice.
What kind of Asian is he?
He's not Asian. He's this white dude. Unless he is the whitest looking Asian I've ever met.
He might be. He might one of those like Russian Asians on the west.
Here's
the west
how
side.
I know that we might be, because this is a dude, white guy, lovely person.
Yeah.
Lives in New Jersey,
Yeah.
and he finds us funny. He told me, he's like, man, I had a really rough, because he works real hard. He's like this crazy, producer type.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I work super hard, and then you know what? At 2 a.m, I just plug you guys in. You guys are super funny. I get to chill. I'm like, what? we're reaching the New Jersey white guy
Yo.
audience. All right,
That's an untapped market.
That's an untapped market, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt. You're a white guy Asian, and we love that. Next, we got Liz Vo, Vietnamese. Can't fool me.
Oh, can't fool me.
Then we got Annie Nguyen Haberman.
I went to college with her.
What the hell?
Yeah.
A lot of your friends giving you money these days. You had this joke the other day that was so funny. You said you're at the age where you're no longer you doing comedy. You're not disappointing your parents. You're disappointing your friends. This is proof. They're literally giving you money. This is not funny. You should tell them to stop. Actually.
Yeah.
This is a roast.
They're like, they're like, oh my God, Mike's doing worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Honey, can we give him a little bit of cash? Maybe we'll give a little less to the church this year and a little bit more to the podcast, as Mike is struggling. Well, thank you very much, Annie.
She's a Vietnamese woman married to a non-Vietnamese person.
I think he's a fireman or something.
A fireman Asian?
I think so.
Hell yeah, we love fire Asians.
Right.
Then we got Loyal Chow.
That is such a sick name.
That's like a villain's name. Loyal
Chow.
like James Bond's
yeah, exactly. And he like throws like a card at you.
Yeah,
yeah. Loyal Chow.
Damn, that's Chinese though, right? That's Chinese.
I think that's a Chinese name. Yep.
Love it. Then we got Buddy.
This is a fake name.
Buddy Bell.
Bell. No, that's a cowboy.
No,
that's a cowboy's name.
Yeah, that's like some dog from a Disney movie. A Disney original movie. Buddy Bell.
Okay, what do we think he is?
A Shih Tzu? I don't know.
Okay, Shih Tzu Asian. Yeah.
And lastly, we have Angela Hatcher. Wait a fucking second. Do you know her?
No.
Dude.
Who is this?
Okay. I might be getting it wrong, but did we match on Hinge? I think
no way.
I might be wrong. I swear I matched with somebody who sounded like this name. I got to go back on the app and I think it was her.
Was she white?
She was Filipino.
Oh,
but when we were talking,
Hatcher? Last name Hatcher?
It was something like. Oh, you're right. Hatcher's not a Filipino.
Not a Filipino.
Well, this person had a last name like this, and I think was maybe mixed or something.
Oh, I see.
Shit. Well,
Okay, well, we're gonna re-download Hinge.
we're gonna re-download.
We're gonna get all
and
that
see.
going.
I think it's her. If so, you ghosted me, and we're fighting. Okay, let's move on.
And yet another roast. What a flex! I'm going to ghost you, but I'm going to give you a little money. It's like if you were like dating someone and then you saw them busking in a subway.
Yeah.
Here's $5, poor bitch. Oh man, it's mean.
My God. Well, thank you so much for your donation. Even if you had a match me on Hinge or whatever it is, we appreciate it. Please go to patreon.com/Asian.AsianPod to get in this game. Story of the week. This is something that I want to talk to our guest about, but I want to kind of get into it first.
Yeah.
Internally, just with me and Mike before we
Okay.
get into it.
Let's do it.
Last week we had Brian Parking and me, Mara, on, and it was a very emotional episode. But before we got emotional, we talked a lot about them quitting stand-up comedy.
Right.
You know, we had a whole discussion about it because that's how we all met. It meant so much to us for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, Brian is like kind of taking, I don't know, hiatus, and Young Me is still in the game
A little bit.
She comes and goes. You know, what I'm
Yeah.
saying she's kind of doing. To be honest with you, she's kind of doing better things. But
yes,
she's coming and going with.
But that's what this is about. And you know, me and you, we're nice hosts. We're nice boys.
Nice
We kind of
boys.
let the guests say their thing. We're like, yeah.
Yeah, do your thing.
But I feel that I left the podcast feeling a little guilty having disrespected the art form of
Wow.
stand-up comedy. We were talking mad shit about stand-up comedy.
So this is for me. The visual I'm getting is like you've offended stand-up comedy, kind of like you've offended like Shorin-ryu or something, you know, karate. And then like, you know, the master's calling you into the dojo, just like, oh, I heard you have been talking smack about Shorin-ryu.
I think we dishonored comedy. I know this is a very
Wow.
Japanese thing to say, but I was like, we have to, you know how it is. Japanese people, we respect things. You know, we respect
You're
the
right.
table. We respect the couch.
The waterfall.
The
Yes.
water, the things that give us life and joy.
Word.
And
The teacup. Yeah.
and I feel we were talking mad shit, and I was being a little bitch, and I didn't come to its defense. And so I would like to just take a second and apologize to the art of stand-up comedy, and also just kind of defend it a little bit now that I've thought about it. You know, I think one of the reasons why a lot of people, this isn't just what the guest said, a lot of people feel this way in comedy. Well, first thing they said, they shit on me directly. They're like, well, late night writers are hack or whatever. They kind of tweet all these jokes that other people do. That's not even true, and I'm not even talking about myself, dude. I swear to fucking God, I know TikTok is the thing now. I swear to you, if any of these motherfucking TikTok people were in a writer's room with like a fucking late night writer, they will shit themselves. These fucking late night writers
funny.
are fucking pros.
Yeah.
Like the people I work with are so smart. They're so funny. They're so fast. And granted, like sure, a lot of their really the stuff that I like never makes it to the show.
Right.
Because it's too crazy.
Yeah.
But I promise you, they're like fucking. You ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay, they're like the Unsullied.
Right.
They're
mercenaries,
but for comedy,
Right.
and they can write for anybody, and
can do
they're
anything.
just
Do all sorts of
they're
shit.
so good, and yes, just had to point that out.
Yeah.
they're great.
No.
We can't shit on them because they're great.
Yeah, I totally get it. You know, they are the Unsullied, so they will, if they have to, they will stab a baby or whatever. it is the Unsullied do.
And they chop off their own dicks. That they don't have dicks.
That's how funny
That's
they are.
how funny they are.
They're like, hey, you want to see a sweet bit? Boom, and they're just like, ha ha ha.
they're bleeding.
They're just
Is it
bleeding.
funny?
I'm bleeding out, but it's funny, right? It's
Can
funny.
you imagine you chop off your dick on stage and you're still bombing and you're like, just
Yeah.
me?
Just me?
It's
No?
like a dick
Anybody
laying on
else? Well, all right. Well, let me tell you about my wife. She's gonna be real pissed about my dick cutting off bit. Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel
Yeah.
you there. I feel you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I want to get to the second comment
Yes,
you have here.
let's get to the
'cause I
second
think
comment.
that's
Second
another
comment, a lot of people say, and I guess said this too, they said stand-up comedy reinforces stereotypes. Because, you know, sometimes you say, you know, your mom is Korean and your mom is, Dominican. Where do they meet? Laundromat or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like they
yeah,
do,
yeah, yeah.
like a lot of stand-up comedy can be like that. And
Yeah,
they were
for sure.
saying like, I got into comedy to subvert these stereotypes, and what I found out is that I can't. It only reinforces. And I'm not saying that that's 100% false, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Yes, that is true. If you are bad at stand-up comedy,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's just like anything or in art. That's like
Yeah.
any job. You know, hack just means unoriginal, right?
Right,
You know
interesting.
what makes somebody a good copywriter versus a bad copywriter? Well, you're unoriginal. You know, you're coming to the meeting with just do it. It's already
Right.
been done, honey. Okay, that's already an ad
Honey.
for Nike.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I'm on. You know, we had Roy Wood Jr. on a couple weeks ago, and he's a guy. He respects stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a true worshiper.
True. Yeah. True admirer.
He really converted me into a believer. Like
Yeah.
I do think that like first of all, he spends a lot of time crafting his ideas, and so here's the thing: like if you're good at it, I think that it is possible to change people's minds and subvert expectations. Also given the right audience. Obviously, you cannot do this at the fucking Grizzly Pear at 4:00 in the morning.
Right.
But if you were given like, hey, this is a Comedy Central showcase. These are cool people in Brooklyn in their 20s and they're educated. They've got Asian friends.
Yeah.
You have a shot.
Yeah.
And so, I believe all these things. I know that sometimes it can be frustrating because you go to a show and you see another comedian doing a really hack joke about Asians and people laughing, and that may make you mad.
Yeah.
But if anything, that motivates me to try to get them back. No, that joke was dumb, and I want to like raise your intelligence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've known you for like 6 or 7 years.
Fine.
You've now apologized to not even an object, a concept. An art form which only exists in our minds. So I think, but I do see your point. I think too that a lot of it is, you got to cultivate the audience. I never want to try to blame the audience, but I do think that if you get the right audience and you got the right thing going on with stand-up, and this is the same thing with late night. The reason why late night is people shit on late night is because it has to be really broad. They're trying to get like 5 million views on their YouTube thing, and it's got to be like a joke that everybody gets, and that is a certain kind of feel to it. So I think what I would love is like if you could get this audience. The ideal thing is like you do a show for an audience of like 100 people who really know and are ready to receive what you're about to say. Yeah. You're about to spit hot fire. And you want these people to understand like what's about to happen, because I do feel like, as stand-up comedy evolves, which I think it is, then you're gonna be seeing all these little like nuances that you would never be able to see, even 20 years ago or whatever at a club,
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, stand-up comedians like yourself and myself. We have to kind of say, hey, I don't want to do this kind of joke for this kind of audience at this kind of thing. Again, I don't want to blame the audience or whatever. You should try to be funny with everybody. But I think once you find your thing and you've gotten good enough, then you can really take the audience somewhere they've never been before, which would be tight.
Yes. And I think that's what we're all kind of chasing. And also, like, to your point, like, stand-up, it is kind of a two-way street. Like, you do have to cultivate an audience. You do have to like play for the people who are gonna fuck with you, because that's where it can go wrong, and you give up and you go, well, I guess they're only gonna laugh at like jokes about me eating a dog.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get discouraged and go that way because you want the laughs.
Because you want to get the laughs.
But you have to like either say no or like get yourself a fan base or whatever it is. So it's not 100% true. That's my point.
You said something on the podcast when we were with them that. Oh, I think it was actually our bonus one that really kind of stuck with me. It was you cannot be afraid of the audience. Mm-hmm, you got to go up there and you got to know you're funny. You're going to do it. And even if you don't do well at that show, do yourself, because you have to always bring yourself. You can't like be pandering to the audience too much, because that's really the whole point. You got to bring your own viewpoint to it. I feel that. I feel that, man.
Yeah. Guys, this week's theme, by the way, is apologizing to an art form on a podcast, Asian.
A concept.
A concept. Our guest today, she is the host of the popular podcast Rice to Meet You with Nigel Eng. She is on I Hate Suji on HBO Max, which I have not seen yet. I don't know what that is. I need to go check that out. And I don't know. I got roasted last time for mispronouncing this.
Edinburgh?
Is it Burrow?
Yeah.
But the spelling is weird. Edinburgh? She's been in the Edinburgh.
You know what? This
Edinburgh.
is some colonial mindset. You get my name right, I'll get your weird town right.
URGH bullshit.
Throw in some more vowels or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, she's on this festival, Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is a very big deal.
Huge deal.
And I also wrote, how do you pronounce it on the end? So, yes, we're going to ask her about that. Guys, please welcome the amazing Evelyn Mok. Hi.
Hey.
I thoroughly enjoy that. So you wrote that you were going to ask me about how to pronounce the festival's name, right? Not what I did at the festival.
No, we don't.
No, we actually don't care about what you did at the festival. But just tell us how you
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, how do you pronounce it?
How do you pronounce it?
I think I pronounce it Edinburgh because I have an American twang, but I think like it's something that the British people are very specific about. It's apparently like Edinburgh or something like that.
God.
If you're Scottish.
Okay, all right. You know what? You want to get back on your ship and get off of my fucking land.
Exactly.
Okay?
Go back on the Mayfair. basically.
Well, I saw you. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it feels like you would do this because you're a very good comedian. I feel you were taking notes while we were talking. Were you taking notes?
I was taking mental notes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
What, what you got on there?
Yeah, what you got? What are you? What are your thoughts here? What are your thoughts
about what we just talked about?
about
Apologizing to stand-up comedy.
Yeah, because you're a performer. For people who don't know, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is this crazy like live performance festival. It's like this massive thing. A lot of comedians get their start there. You have to put on like a whole show. It's not just like, you know, Fumi and I doing like a 10-minute, 15-minute set or something like that. It's like you have to do like an hour, and it has like a arc and stuff like that. Excuse me. And, you know, you performing at it is a milestone for a lot of performers. So given your background, you know, what are your sort of thoughts on what we were just talking about?
I think like for stand-up specifically, it's like, especially if you do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, it's like, I don't know if that's where great comedy goes to get born or great comedy goes to die.
Oh, interesting. Yo, yeah, go ahead.
Because it's like, I think for you guys as Americans, you're seeing it from the American perspective and coming over. I know a few people like Sean Patton was over and Sarah Schaefer, Michael Che was over. And it's like coming over to do it, basically when you're here, it's kind of like this is the festival that you work up to every year. So maybe for you guys, it's the equivalent of like JFL or something. Sure. So you do basically that kind of like Louis technique. I don't know if I can name him anymore.
This podcast.
On this podcast.
On this podcast is cool. So you basically, it's like each year you throw out your show and then you just rewrite one and do a new one in Edinburgh. But the thing is, in Edinburgh, they've kind of conflated the one-man kind of theater show with stand-up. So a lot of stand-ups tend to mine their trauma to make a show about it.
Yes.
And, you know, like as comedians, you're like a year to, you know, treat your trauma and make it funny.
Right.
Are you really good enough to do that? Are you Mike Birbiglia? Like, so it's kind of like either it's like you can see amazing shows there, or you can see shows that totally just won't be good enough. And I feel like in that sense, I feel like we all should apologize to stand-up comedy when we do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, because we're not treating the stand-up comedy good at all.
Do you
and
find
then like
that
Michelle Wolf comes from like America and just kills it.
Right.
And,
do you find that like, you know, because I was listening to a podcast you were on, and you were saying that like it was this festival that means so much to European comedians was canceled last year, right? Do you find that, you know, and like the same thing happened in America, all the shows were canceled, JFL was canceled, and like the reason why I brought this up is a lot of our American stand-up comedy friends have quit to do like TikTok stuff or just do anything other than stand-up, and then when they quit, they kind of talk shit about it, you know? It's like it's not the right art form. That's kind of what I meant. Do you have, you know, now that this big thing in Europe was canceled for a year, did you find that a lot of your comedian peers in Europe, you know, left stand-up or to do something else? You know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Was there like a new wave of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I do a podcast with Uncle Roger, so
that's true. He was born in quarantine, right?
Yeah.
He was born in quarantine, and so I see it a lot. A lot of people either they've just quit stand up and just gone back to like working in a shop or something, but then the younger people are trying to do TikTok, and it's like because I'm working with Nigel so closely, he keeps encouraging me to do it, and.
Yeah.
I get that thing of like, as you guys were saying, like stand-up purists. I can't figure out if it's like, if I admire the people who go all in on TikTok and YouTube, or if I kind of feel like, you know, that part of me that slightly hates them because they can do it. Because it's like, you throw away all shame, isn't it? You throw away you just don't, it's more about quantity than quality online.
You do have to have a certain, like, you just have to have consistency, you know, as far as like you got to have something 2 or 3 times a week, and then a lot of them, and again, this is, you know, I don't want to, I'm not like trashing TikTok, but like there's a lot of a lot of times for these creators, they'll hit on something and they'll just do that again and again and again, which is not really their fault, because the algorithm, you know, supports it and demands it, and like, you know, like then like there's this comedian I like who I think is really funny. And he has like, you know, a white woman going through X, part,
Yeah.
one of 100, right? It's like part 99, part, it's 102, like, so I do feel like when you do have to kind of worship the beast, which is TikTok, in order to do well on there. You can put out like crazy stuff like unpolished bits or whatever, and there's a really good chance it's going to get like 50 views, So I do feel you. I mean, hey, 50 views, that's actually more than most audiences I performed in front of. But so, hey, who knows? But yeah, I do see what you're saying. Do you feel like, I mean, so what are your thoughts? You got your podcast, you obviously got stuff going on with YouTube and everything like that. Do you still feel that urge to go on stage and like, hey, I'm going to try doing this thing where I'm talking about this really personal thing?
It is that thing of like, because I've been thinking about that too, because obviously it's like, what's the intent? Because obviously you can't deny that the podcast, our podcast, and I guess yours too, has grown in quarantine, and you reach so many people online. But then it is that thing of, but what is your intent with what you create? Is it that you want to reach the most people ever? Like you want mass appeal? Yeah. Or do you want to affect people in some way? And in that case, is it okay if it's a smaller group? Yeah. And I think maybe I subscribe to the latter a bit more, but then I think a lot of people, maybe that's why like a lot of comics find a conflict with this, because I think a lot of us do subscribe to the latter, but we are very attracted to the former.
How is that journey going for you? Because like you work with Uncle Roger. Actually, in fact, you were like the mastermind behind that project. So I think you still write with him on all of his sketches and stuff like that?
I mean, so Uncle Roger was kind of born out of the fact that I pitched Nigel basically himself as like a character in one of the sitcoms that I'm kind of developing. And then Uncle Roger was born out of just us like just bantering on the podcast. And I did write with him a bit in the beginning for a few of his videos, but then I felt like I got too consumed by it. I got too like, because it's such a huge machine now.
Right.
Like, obviously he's blown up and stuff. And I was like, ooh, I'm dedicating more time to Uncle Roger than I am to Evelyn Mok. Why am I saying my name as a third person? Because I also have an ego. But I was like, oh, I think I have to like, it's so much fun though to write with Nigel, and it's so much fun to write for Uncle Roger. But then it's like, as you say, I'm like, oh, I need to figure out what I want to do, because if I start spending my time kind of dedicating it to my friend, then I'm just going to forget about me being a comic as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up because, you mentioned the two examples, one reaching the masses and one, affecting a smaller audience. Uncle Roger is an example of somebody who has the most reach, millions and millions of, and that's something, that makes you feel good as an entertainer, as a performer, as a writer. When did you decide to back out of it? That's really interesting. I didn't know that. I thought you were still kind of working with him.
Well, I decided, when was that? It was I think in like December last year, and he blew up in, when was that? He blew up in like summertime last year or something like that?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
So we were still like quite a few months, and it is, I think, because I see Nigel as well, and as it was blowing up, he's so dedicated. He's like a data analyst, and you guys have talked to him too. He's almost logical to a fault. Right. So I think that YouTube really suits him. And he doesn't really have an ego about like what he puts out and stuff. He wants it to be funny and he wants it to be good, but he understands how online stuff works. And so he just kind of churns it out, and it was such a speed. And I just looked at it, and he kept kind of encouraging me to start my own YouTube channel. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think I can work the same way that you work. Yeah. Because it's so
such
intense.
A different process. I feel like YouTube, and I've been wanting to talk about this. I was talking to some comedians about this, and this other comic was saying that like stand-up comedy is going to be like jazz in a few decades. You know what I'm saying? Like there'll be a tiny, very passionate group of people who are like, "Hey man, let's go down to the club." Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's this guy.
Why are they snapping?
Hey, you gotta check out Fumi, man. Yo, check out this sick riff. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be like, you're going to have a turtleneck on, Evelyn's going to be back there smoking a cigarette and shit like that. And like, oh, what's the deal with airline food? Like, it's going to be super, niche, like super niche, but like for some reason really big in Japan, you know? And and it'll be really narrow, and like, you know, it'll be for a particular crowd, and those people will love it. And I always think about, I don't know how you feel. It sounds like you're kind of on the same page as us, but I can't separate out the performance of stand-up to the experience of going and living in a city and doing a show in a city. I love, I don't want to say I love people. I hate people, but I love looking at people. I love observing life. Like I love like looking at stuff. And I think all comedians, like, you have to have this thing where you're like, you like to observe what's going on and then have a kind of form an opinion. And then the experience of going to, you know, some small little club or like a small little show, and you know, the build up to the show and seeing the audience and doing your set and then kind of like leaving the show, all that is like tied together. And that's something you don't get when you do internet comedy. You know, like I've done some of my TikToks have done okay, you know, but I'm sitting there and I'm just in the corner and I got my phone and I'm doing the line and I'm doing the line again, and I'm like, we're not working with anyone. There's no director. I'm just like doing it and I'm editing it on my phone. You know, sometimes my wife is there and she's just like, she's trying to do actual work and she's just looking at me like deliver the same line again and again. And I put it out there, and it, you know, whether it does good or not, but the process of it is not, it's not as satisfying, I feel. It's not sexy. It's not sexy. It's not fun. It's just like I'm on my phone and I'm doing my thing, and I like I like coming up with the idea, actually, and I like writing the idea. But then when I'm actually doing it to camera, I'm like, I don't like doing it. It's not fun. I don't know if you can relate.
Yeah, there's no connection, because like stand-up's all about the connection, right? Like it's about being in the moment. And of course, you know, we have our jokes, we do that, but then it's like, oh, something happens in the room and you can talk to that person, or, you know, like it's like when stand-up is good, it is playing an instrument. It is like you're kind of like the director. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude.
It's like yeah.
Butt stuff.
Listen, Mike, you know me on the podcast, I like to laugh like an insane person, spread joy through jokes and inappropriate comments. But is that how I feel on the inside in 2020? Absolutely not, Mike.
No, man.
It's a dark mess in here, dude. Sometimes I'm really sad. Sometimes I'm a little depressed. I'm really stressed, you know, and I think a lot of people with the pandemic, they're not really sure about job security, and that's a huge source of stress for a lot of people. And I think if any of our listeners feel this way, they should check out our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
Connect in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient.
You can start communicating in under 24 hours.
This isn't self-help, it's professional counseling.
Send a message to your counselor anytime.
You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions.
Woo! All without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. You know how those waiting rooms can be, bro.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need it.
And it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available.
Licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem.
I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Asian. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Asian. Dad wiped your ass for years. Return the favor with the perfect gift for Father's Day from Hello Tushy. Bring your pops into the future with the brand new Hello Tushy 3.0 modern bidet attachment. It's stylish, eco-friendly, easy to install, and will help stop him from flushing his retirement down the toilet. Hello Tushy 3.0 cleans butts like a champ, but it doesn't stop there. It cleans itself with the Smart Spray, that's trademarked, automatic self-cleaning nozzle. When we say anyone can figure this shit together, we mean even your parents. Yes, yours. Hello Tushy 3.0 attaches to their existing toilet with no electricity, extra plumbing, or tech support, FaceTimes, and cuts toilet paper use by 80%, so the Hello Tushy bidet pays for itself in a few months. Plus, every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee. Risk-free and a 12-month warranty. Wow. Dad already got a Hello Tushy on his pot. Blow him away with an upgrade to the new Hello Tushy 3.0. If he's new to the revolution, have him join millions of happy Hello Tushy customers right now for a clean butt with every flush. Give the gift of a clean butt. Go to hellotushy.com/ANA to get 10% off plus free shipping. This is a special offer for our listeners at hellotushy.com/ANA for 10% off. hellotushy.com/ANA.
I mean, and also I always think about, I'll see a fire bit that somebody did or whatever that's out on like the Netflix comedy account or on the Comedy Central account, and I'm like, that was an amazing bit, and I know that bit took years to make. Unless there's there's occasionally a comic who can like really crank, but they're like an exception. There's so many times where I know that if any of my bits ever made it to Comedy Central or something like that and went out there, that's like 3 years of work I just flushed away because like that's been out there now, and now I can't use it really again. And it takes so long to do,
That's why it's so like I get the argument against stand-up because like it is stupid. Like I mean, it's not stupid, but it's like, what kind of a business model is that? Like just think of it as a job. Like
it's not a business,
and that's why like like with late night writing and stuff like that, it's like, well, you have to crank in 2 hours. That makes sense because you have to make this product for tonight.
Yeah.
Right,
Totally makes sense.
Yep.
But it's also not going to be hilarious,
right?
Because you didn't spend 3 years on it.
Yeah.
But also like you can't order something and be like, it'll be there in 3 years. It's not
No
that's
problem.
not a product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to do the H&M fast turn. You can't be sitting there like an Italian shoe cobbler.
Right.
Who's like,
right,
well,
right.
I'm raising the calf right now that will eventually be your loafers.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is like, because Nigel, obviously, there's a lot of love on the internet. There's a lot of hate on the internet for Nigel, right? Because of Uncle Roger, and we don't have to get into that. But like, I was wondering if you get any of that because you're like on the podcast with him and stuff like that.
Well, first of all, let's specify the type of fame. We're Chinatown famous. Like,
Oh,
we're
shit.
Not,
Okay.
we're not like mainstream.
Okay.
Right.
We're like, if we're in Chinatown, people will probably stop us and be like, "Hey, we listened to the podcast."
Okay. Yeah.
No, okay.
Not in Soho. Yeah, in Chinatown. Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, not in Soho. White people will leave us alone. But like, yeah, I have actually with the whole Uncle Roger thing. I have. There are two kinds of kind of spillover. One was when he was in the midst of all of that kind of like controversy. Then people kind of spilt over on me, and was just like, and those people kind of did it in two ways. One was like the caring DM, where it was like, we really don't want to see you go down with Uncle Roger. We hope that you can be okay. We hope that you can go and start something else. And then also just like, you should die too, you. China liker.
China liker?
That's a really mild form of what I actually got.
Wow.
I actually consider myself a China liker. So.
Yeah, wow.
I do like China. And then it's like, and then the other people are people who just kind of comment on the podcast and feel like he takes too much space compared to, and doesn't allow me to talk. But then again, that's our dynamic.
Oh, yeah, you should talk more. Yeah, I want to hear more. Yeah.
So it's like,
Shut up, Nigel.
I love being on. I love being on here talking to two Asian men who aren't Nigel Long. It's great. It's really great.
Oh man, I was gonna try to do a British Malaysian accent. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you do a Vietnamese accent?
Not at all, and I've been working on it. And
it's weird because you can do a Chinese accent.
Yeah, I can because
can you?
I can kind of do one. I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, I've been working on it. But I think for me, I don't know what it is, but I think it's because my parents' English is too good. To me, I don't know if other people, when they meet them, to me they don't have accents. They just speak. They're college educated in America, so like they speak English fluently, and we always spoke English. So to me, they don't have accents, and so I think it's hard for me to like. I could definitely appreciate a good Vietnamese accent. I love it, but I would love to do it because. First of all, funny accent.
It's very like floral.
It's very.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I would say it's very musical.
Yeah.
And before anyone comes at me, I appreciate Vietnamese. I like the accent. I think it's, and I'm not joking. I think it's like poetry. It's a beautiful word and sound, and a lot of people get on Vietnamese because it sounds so like choppy. But if you listen to it, it's very beautiful. If you really listen to it, and so I wish I could do it. But I feel like I'm just too close to it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, you know?
No, I totally agree. Because I can't really do a good Chinese accent. Because I think in my mind, I associated it with stereotypes. And I was like, I don't want to. I just taught myself not to do it. because I guess I was so hurt by it, like when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I can't do it. So
That's
I totally
so funny.
get it. Yeah.
Mike, you said you can't do it because your parents' English were too good.
Yeah.
I can't do a Japanese accent because my parents' English was so bad.
Yeah.
So to me, when they try to speak English, they're just speaking Japanese. You know what I mean?
Can I say this real quickly? 'Cause I do want to talk to Ellen and get a little bit into her too. I think I've been watching this video game online called Cyberpunk 2077, and there's a lot of the antagonists in it are Japanese, and there's some Japanese like characters you work with, and I have to say the Japanese accent in English sounds badass. I think. Okay, you know how you know in Last Samurai, okay?
Yeah.
Not Tom Cruise, the other guy, the real Last Samurai.
Yeah.
The real Last Samurai.
Last Samurai, but it wasn't on the movie cover. The
Yeah,
poster.
not Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise sucks. The real Last Samurai. What's that actor's name?
Is it Ken Watanabe?
Yeah, Ken
It's always
Watanabe.
him.
Yeah.
It's always him.
It's always him. It's always him,
sounds
isn't it?
so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'm like, damn, I wish more people did the Asian accent. Because it's sexy as fuck. And I'm just like, that sounds awesome. I don't know why people made that a bad thing.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah, have you never heard, I don't know, a white person from Wisconsin? They sound hilarious, okay? That's the accent you should make fun of. Japanese accent sounds bad. They sound like they're going to say the coolest thing, drink a fucking whiskey, play like fucking bass, finger your girl, cut your head off. It's so badass.
Yeah. You know what's not fair? The fact that Netflix hides thousands of shows and movies from you based on your location and then has the nerve to increase their prices on you. That's right. They've just raised their prices once again. This is a crazy ad already. Now you could just cancel your subscription in protest, or you could be smart about it and make sure you're getting your full money's worth by using ExpressVPN. Like I do. See, you might not know that what's on Netflix in your country is completely different from what someone in the UK or Japan has on theirs. Using ExpressVPN, I can control which country I want Netflix to think I'm in. ExpressVPN has over 90 countries to choose from, so every time I run out of stuff to watch, I just switch to another country to unlock new shows. Right now, I'm watching Terrace House Japanese version. It's not on US Netflix, but with just one tap of a button, ExpressVPN lets me change my location to Tokyo to watch it. And here's the best part. It's not just for Netflix. You can use ExpressVPN to unlock shows on other streaming services too. I like to use it to watch BBC iPlayer. It's free and only available in the UK. ExpressVPN is also super fast and works on your phone, laptop, even smart TVs. So you can watch your shows on the big screen with zero buffering. So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/Asian. Don't forget to use my link so you can get 3 extra months free. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's expressvpn.com/Asian. expressvpn.com/Asian to learn more. The All of Us research program wants to gather health information from 1 million or more people. They want people from all walks of life to take part. That means young and old people, men and women, and people from cities and rural areas. It means sick and healthy people, and it means people of different races, ethnicities, and sexual orientations. They will collect information such as your height, weight, health conditions, and medicines. Researchers may be able to use this information to better understand and improve health for all of us. Wow, that's a pretty intense thing to say. Some of you guys might be freaking out right now, like, what are they trying to do to me? Basically, all of us are trying to get to know, basically you guys, and a lot of you guys are Asian American, because a lot of Asian Americans don't participate in these studies, and it makes it difficult for scientists to research us, because Asian Americans have unique health concerns, right? And you know how that is. Mike has a very different body than I do. You guys know that. Mike we're the same height, but he's a little thicker than me, and his armpits smell like shit. And me, I have daddy issues, and so those are different health concerns, and that's what All of Us is all about. The more people who join, the more information researchers will have, and the more they will learn. Ask your friends and family to join to make a difference at joinallofus.org/Asian, not Asian.
You're Swedish. You're actually Swedish, which is, again, mind-blowing, because you speak English better than Fumi and I.
And you have an American accent. I don't know where that came from.
What's happening?
Thank you so much. From TV.
Really?
That's crazy. You haven't. I'm actually waiting for you to say something weird, but no mistakes for you so far. Like,
no. Yeah.
Fugal song. I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything weird.
No, but I mean, like, just tell us, like,
what's the deal with Sweden?
What's the deal with Sweden?
What's going on? Why
What's going on there?
Why are
Do
you there?
guys have a Swedish American Heritage Pacific Islander Heritage Month?
Oh, no. In Sweden, it's like Asian people don't really exist. No.
Yeah. It's kind of similar here, but anyways,
there
go
must
ahead.
be. Is there a community? Like, how did you end up there?
So basically, my dad, he's from Hong Kong. And when he was 19, he dropped out of school when he was 15 and started working like, at the Hong Kong barbecue places and stuff. And he told me that his job was to be the lookout for when like the mafia would have, or the triads would have like street fights and stuff.
Oh,
so he would just stand, so he would be like a teenager and he would just stand and be a lookout and they would be fighting. And then he'd be like, police. And then everybody runs away. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, Dad. But then, so his uncle was a sailor and he just really liked Sweden when he visited. And so he decided to go over there and he started Sweden's first Japanese restaurant. Sorry, Fumi. And it was like run by Chinese people. Yep. And so he just got my dad over. And so my dad went there when he was like 19 and started working in the restaurant business. And then my mom's actually, so she's from Wuhan. She's from Tiananmen.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to be honest, like that place really put us on the map.
Yeah, big year for you guys.
Nobody knew what I was
like
talking
a pretty
about.
cool city.
It probably is,
Yeah. But so she originally, her family's from there, but then they, during the 20s, because it was so poor, they just migrated to India and set up shop there. And so my mom's born and raised in India. And also when she was 19, just like she was like basically graduated from school and my grandma was like, do you want to go to Sweden and work? And she was like, yeah, sure. But then I don't know if it was unbeknownst to her, but basically the family that she went to was family friends and they kind of set her up to get married with the son of the family.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then they didn't get along. They got divorced. And then she met my dad and they banged and had me.
Nice. So, I mean, getting into the Sweden thing is what's like, and for our listeners, I'm not surprised that Evelyn speaks English because she's Asian. I'm surprised that she speaks English because she's Swedish. Okay.
Well, everybody there speaks English.
Right, but that she sounds like she's from Irvine, California.
Well, I want to ask you that,
dude.
So
Lovely. Thank you
because I know
so
like
much.
Swedish people all speak English. Do they all choose what kind of English they want to speak?
Do they all sound like perfect California English?
Well, because like I'm sure some people choose to study, like British English, right? So are there people walking around in Sweden who speak like Nigel or like that, like the London style?
Because let me tell you too, in New York, people here in New York, the white people here don't speak English. Okay, they speak Staten Island. Okay, they speak some sort of weird Queens thing, Boston shit. So yeah. I mean, I want to know what's going on over in Sweden.
In Sweden, it's like, well, we have to learn English from like grade 3. So we're like 8 or 9 when we start learning it. Mm-hmm. But then because everything's Americanized, like all the TV shows and all the music we listen to, we just have subtitles. We don't dub it. So people pick up, it is more.
It's just like everywhere, right?
Yeah, it is more of an American twang. I would say that it's like unusual to find, and I've heard Swedish people who speak British as well, but they have probably just lived here and picked that up after coming here. But it's difficult to find a Swedish person who has like a genuine Swedish accent if they're my age. And
word.
Whoa,
yeah.
Word.
Wow, I didn't know a world like that could exist,
dude. So that means when we go somewhere, we can just be like, "Yo, dude, I'm Swedish, bro."
I'm Swedish, bro. I'm also imagining a world where, like, because American television is very prominent there, like some Swedish guy keeps watching the country music channel and he's got like a weird southern accent. Some guy named Sven being like, "All I need is my dog, my truck, and my salmon." Or
praise Jesus.
What is I want to ask you this before we move on to the next topic. What do Swedish people find funny?
Yeah.
What's a funny?
If I had to go to Sweden, I would be like
funny Sweden
IKEA
joke?
And being pale.
I mean, they probably don't even think about IKEA, right?
How pale are they? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I would be. What do I?
Oh my
what
God,
do I?
they're
what do I
transparent, Mike. They are transparent.
I got you.
Except
all right,
with their
I'm moving.
racist views. But yeah.
Are Swedish people racist? I thought they were supposed to be like super progressive.
Nah, hell no, dog.
I mean, they're progressive when it comes to like equality between the genders, but they won't even face their own racism, is my opinion.
Right.
But they never colonized
think
anybody,
that they're
right?
super
Sweden?
woke.
No, they did.
So
Who'd they colonize?
I mean, they were a major
they
power for a while.
They're the original colonizers. They colonized other white people. They colonized the Scots.
You talking about the Vikings?
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about that and like other things. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know.
I'll tell you. We'll have a history podcast where we just catch up Fumi on all sorts of things. Anyways, but like it's interesting because Fumi will sometimes say how he if he has to talk to someone and the person's Japanese, he will choose to speak English because English it has like is a rougher feel. If you speak in Japanese, the language itself constrains certain things, and of course there's also like constraints as far as culture goes. But I think it sounds to me like Japanese itself is like built in a way where it's harder to be rude to someone necessarily. As in English is sort of like you can do. I only speak English, so like it feels like you can kind of like combine it any way you want. So it sounds like it's similar when you speak in English, doing comedy in English versus in Swedish. You can kind of you have a little more freedom.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to race, at least, because it's just like the cultural context is different. Like the conversation is much more developed in London and in the States. Whereas in Sweden, and the thing is, I think Swedish comics are really, like, we have really great comics. I think they hold class. But then also they have, like, I think maybe Scandinavian comedy in general, there is still this kind of like ironic racism thing going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's so much fun because when I see some of my Swedish friends come over to London to do stand up and they just translate their jokes, and I'm like, yeah, people are feeling very uncomfortable right now.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's going to happen and you don't even warn them. You just sit in the back, you're drinking your whiskey.
just let them run right into the wall, Blair.
That's your fucking show. Is your Swedish friends just...
Let's see how that ching chong punchline works out for you.
Crazy.
Sven.
Yeah. I like that it's ironic racism, just regular racism.
Yeah.
Just regular
It's just regular racism.
Regular racism. Wow, that's good. I love it. One more thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've touched upon this before. Is dating in Sweden? I mean, is that like are there apps out there?
Oh yeah.
Are you using them? I mean, I mean, sort of what's your experience and with that? I mean, that's got to be.
I mean,
did Crazy Rich Asians have an impact?
Oh yeah.
On it, because it did here. I don't know what the international impact was, but
I think Crazy Rich Asians was like a blip in Sweden. It was the dating. I'm not a great dater, but like the experience in Sweden, it is that thing of because a lot of. So there's this, like, Swedish men are a big percentage of the men who go to, like, Asia for sex tourism. So it's just like...
I'm definitely going to Sweden now, Playboy. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
And some of them... Yeah, some of them bring them back. So it's
wow.
So that's kind of the feel of being like an Asian lady in Sweden.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's like 1940s America vibes.
Yeah, that's war brides, but you met them on Expedia.com.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, continue. So how does this then oh my god.
So how does that translate to like a modern day woman?
Yeah, to your dating experience. Yeah.
Well, a lot of times it's just like I'm like, he's interested in me. Let's find out which fetish he wants because I'm plus size too. So I'm like, all right, let's see. Are you standing next to Asian people in your Facebook photos? Have you studied in like Guilin or something like that?
Yeah.
Or
Is there like a photo of him wearing like those tie baggy pants, when he was backpacking? I know. When I was in Vietnam, I saw them all over the place. I was like, it's gross. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Exactly.
Man.
And it's like sometimes it'll be like, you're having a conversation, you're having a nice conversation, and then he's like, yeah, so I watch a lot of manga. And I'm like, there it is.
And what's problematic is that you read manga. That's the issue.
Oh,
You watch
sorry.
anime.
Yeah,
see?
Yeah,
anime.
that's why-
Sorry,
yes,
that was
yes.
me. Yeah, sorry, Fumi. I forgot you were Japanese.
You should apologize in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're the
Your
one.
fault. I think-
You're the one fucking up.
Yeah,
Okay, now
yeah.
let's go back to the sex tourism. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Is it any better in the UK? I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you were gonna say something.
Oh, actually, I'm reading a book about it, the sex tourism, and it's really interesting because they're saying in the book, he's basically describing it as so sweet. It's about male loneliness, classic. But in Sweden, because the working class, basically, a lot of these men are from the working class, and they have a lot of reactionary views on women and on immigration.
Yes.
And he's saying that it's because the women
that here.
of the working class,
Yeah.
like the traditional occupations that they used to have, like nursing or daycare, those occupations now have been elevated. So instead of just having a degree, that you have to study for a year, it's now been like university approved. So you have to go like 3 years, and you can even do PhD in them. So the women are kind of getting educated and kind of moving social classes, whereas the men, the traditional occupations for them, like factory working, it's just been exported to cheaper countries.
Oh, yes.
So they're kind of stuck, and they feel powerless, and so they're stuck in this kind of like weird place, and
Right,
so
they're
they feel
stagnant,
rejected
right.
by the women. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, stagnated.
I've heard that like, you know, then there are some men of color, and then people are dating the men of color, and now the the white dudes, the Swedish white dudes, are like kind of like, oh well, now he's got these other guys coming in too.
Yeah,
Is that like
That's
also
a
a
thing in
dynamic?
Sweden?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so the men obviously, and so they feel powerless and lonely, and so when and they at the same time they're seeing, like, as you say, like men of immigrants coming in and stuff and getting jobs and everything, and so it just leads to like a natural voting group for right-wing populist kind of fascist
Hey man,
views.
come on over to America, baby. Okay, we got all that. Hey, you like reactionary politics? You love barbecue? Okay, well we got a huge country all about that. Wow. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
That's
I hate that every right-wing politics theory can just be distilled down to nobody wants to fuck me.
Nobody wants
Every
to.
single. It's
so
so
lonely.
stupid.
No, man.
It's so dumb. Oh my God. Well,
Yeah, wow.
We should get out to
true.
Sweden. I would honestly pay double whatever it costs to go to Sweden and intimidate a Swedish white man who's probably 7 feet tall. You know, have that guy be like, "Fuck, another Japanese guy walking to a
Oh
bar. I'm so
no,
fucked."
this guy's gonna just play jazz.
Yeah.
He's gonna finger my girl with his accent.
My girl. God, he's so cool. It's time. We're gonna do everyone's favorite segment. It is
Das Race News.
and we're with our guest Evelyn Mok, and we're going to talk about. This is a really funny one because listen, we have a podcast called The Asian Not Asian, and
Yes,
the
sir.
tagline is
Yes,
called our whole brand is two Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no Americans care about, and we talk about Asian shit all the time. Sometimes we just talk about regular shit. But, you know, it's a lot of our thing. We know a lot of Asian comics and performers like Evelyn. And, you know, we're in it. We do this shit, okay? But we have to realize that most people don't know about us at all, okay? And now we have proof. Data analyst proof, okay? We have this this headline that's been going around. 42% in the United States cannot name a single prominent Asian American, a survey finds. And here's a little clip from, this is from NPR. A recent survey found that nearly 80% of Asian American... Wait.
This is all in the same article.
Oh, this is all in the same
So
article.
there's a couple levels.
Okay.
So like that what you said is true. In the same study,
Oh, I see.
They were also surveying people, and they're saying that 80% of Asian Americans don't feel respected. They say they are discriminated against by their fellow Americans. Additionally, a significant portion of respondents of multiple races said they were unaware of the increase in hate crimes and racism against Asian American over the past year. So that was what the research was originally about.
Right.
And then they were like, by the way, do you know any Asians?
Yeah.
And it turns out they don't know any Asians either. So it was like a triple combo blow.
So top answers in order were number one. No, actually, let's do number three.
Number three.
Number three.
Well, try to guess, listeners. Try to guess. Now you got your guess. Number 3 is
Bruce Lee.
makes sense. Makes
Yep.
sense. Makes sense.
He is Asian American. He actually grew up in Seattle. Everybody just remember that.
Makes sense.
Number 2.
Makes sense.
Everybody think about it. Who's number 2? Is it Simu Liu? Huh? Maybe. No. Is it Jackie Chan?
Chan.
It's Jackie
Is
Chan.
he even American?
He is not Asian American. I mean, okay, listen, it gets wonky, but he is Asian. I wouldn't say that he is Asian American.
Well, like by the definition, is he an American citizen?
He's not an American citizen.
He's not Asian American.
No, he's not Asian American. And then number 1.
Who is the most famous Asian American person?
The most famous Asian American there is?
Fu Manchu.
None.
None.
It is nobody. They named nobody.
Are you
Nobody.
serious?
They named 0 people.
They said they didn't know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Reactions and thoughts, Evelyn.
Well, I'm surprised Mickey Rourke didn't make the list.
I don't even know who that is.
But wow, it's. I mean, I don't.
Matt
it's
Damon,
not surprising. It's not surprising, is it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's really not.
And it's like, why are people still making surveys when it's always like, it's like
when you
yes,
know it's gonna be a sad
exists.
result.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
to us. We've just listened to us. Like, but they need statistics. It's crazy. It really is.
Who did you think was going to be number 1 if you had not seen this?
What is the? I think here's the thing.
They asked you to name a prominent Asian American.
So here's the thing: is that like they're not even saying essentially what this question is. Name an Asian American.
Right.
And if they had just been like Bobby Chang, the guy who is my waiter at PF Chang's, that would count.
That would count.
Okay.
That would count.
They were just like no one.
Yeah.
That was their answer. So
What, did this? Let me ask you this: did this shock you that
you
number
know
one
what,
was
though?
none?
I'm not that shocked because we ourselves, come on, we've had jokes even where we're like, I think it was Brian Park who has a joke where it's like, I get confused about for a lot of different Asian celebrities, or what I'm saying, like we always joke on the podcast that we're like 2 steps away from the most famous Asian person.
Right,
It's like
right.
it's us, then it goes Ronnie Chang, then it goes Fu Manchu. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like there's really not that many people, so I'm not too surprised that they couldn't name a prominent Asian American.
I really wanted number 1 to be like Naruto or something. Right. That would have been so
Just give
funny.
me
Not
something. Give me
real-
a cartoon. Give me
like-
Goku. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like the
He's an
dad
alien.
from Fresh Off the Boat, which is
Yeah.
Randall Park. But
Right, exactly.
The
That's
character
that's the
name.
thing is like a name like Simu Liu. I guarantee you, my friends in Ohio don't know who that is.
Exactly.
Guarantee you.
Yeah.
Guarantee you they've never heard of him. Right. This is so interesting because I saw another survey that was like, it's on Fox News, so the logic is airtight. It was asking people in America who they thought was the most discriminated against. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Have
this
you
is a really
seen
good
this?
one.
It's so funny.
It's
so
really good.
So this is asking everybody in America, all races, who they thought was the most oppressed or like discriminated against in America. So obviously number 1 was black people. Number 2 was Hispanics. Number 3 was white people. And number 4 was Asians.
Are you
Isn't that crazy?
serious?
White people.
White people
I'm
think-
actually surprised that white people didn't list themselves as the
number
most
1?
discriminated. I'm actually
wow.
surprised that didn't happen.
Wow.
But like that's yeah. I mean, this was a survey in like 2018 or something, so it wasn't that long ago.
Oh, so I bet you white people are number 1.
number one now, yeah.
Have
Sorry,
you guys
Evelyn.
experienced this thing where maybe it's just me because I write a little and I know a lot of like white male writers and they keep pitching me this show where they're like, oh, it's about a white guy who like just doesn't know how to handle the race talk right now. Like,
Oh,
you know,
right, yeah.
he just doesn't know how to, so it's kind of like Curb, but like about racism and like it's starring the white guy. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. That's horrible. That's like terrible. Like, why are you telling me this? Are you just wanting me to sign off on this? So you have like a POC kind of sign off? It's
Yeah.
like, it's so
I could
bad.
see that. I could see that being greenlit though. You know.
I mean, honestly,
yes.
if you kind of think about a lot of it's like you just said, like Curbed is like, a lot of these shows are let's look at a changing world from the perspective of the guy who really has to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Curbed is like that. It's like a lot of people, he's in a position of power and it's everybody's like, hey, have you ever thought about not being a jerk? And it's like, man, tough for him, like that's really where a lot of shows like get their ideas
that
from.
show you just described
Yeah.
is way more interesting from the point of view of like you, right?
Right.
If you
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a friend who doesn't know, but Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I think it's a good one. So shouts everybody to None. He, you know,
We should have him on this podcast.
we should have None on the podcast. We will have None on the podcast. Check him out. He's got a new Marvel movie coming out. None is gonna be sick as fuck. We are gonna play a little game where we're gonna call it, I guess it's just called Name a Famous Asian American, and we're gonna take turns naming famous.
Yes.
Could be
I'd like to add on that title. It's called the Sudden Death Challenge because we got to keep going, right?
okay, sudden death challenge, and also I will allow Western Asians, like Asians in the West, because you know we can not just Asian Americans, because Simu Liu is actually Canadian. Anyways,
Yes.
so like Western Asians, we're gonna go around naming until we run out.
Until we run out. And if you can't, if you're the person who it runs out on, then you have to quit this podcast.
No, yeah, you actually have to move to Sweden and start doing jokes in Swedish
About ching
about ching chongs.
No, don't do that because you're taking up my market. I'm the only one right now. That's how I make my money. Don't come.
Hey.
Okay,
He's
this is
white
gonna be
now.
this is a crazy game because I think
this is a hard
this will
game.
end earlier than we think it's gonna.
I really think it is hard.
You didn't give me any time to prep either.
I really think it's hard.
Okay, well let's start with the guest of honor, Evelyn. Why don't you
Evelyn,
start
you go
by
first.
naming one famous Western Asian person, and we'll go to
Okay.
Mike, and then we'll go to me.
Daniel Day Kim.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
good one.
Aquafina.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ali Wong.
Nice. We're
Okay.
just gonna go down the list
We're
of
gonna- keep going.
Netflix character. Okay, go ahead.
yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
Randall Park, obviously. Then.
Okay, Simu Liu.
Constant Swoop.
This is really scary.
I'm so scared.
Should we try to? Should we try to
let people play
rhyme?
this?
We should play White Mahomet.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Should we try to rhyme the last name?
No. Okay, go ahead. I said woo. Go ahead.
No. What was that? Ken Jeong.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Lee.
Oh, nice.
Gemma Chan.
Henry Golding. Now we're just gonna name the cast of
Yeah.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, we haven't said Ronnie Chang.
Ronnie, nice.
Okay.
Have we said Simu Liu or have we just mentioned
I
it
have
too
seen
much?
Simu Liu.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
you
we're
said-
like
Aha!
we're like round 4. We're like, have we said this
We
already?
already said this person.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Jimmy
ahead.
Yang.
Who's Jimmy Yang? Oh, Jimmy O Yang.
Oh Yang. Jimmy O Yang.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And his dad, Richard O Yang, who's adorable
Hey,
on
hey,
Instagram.
save that. Save that.
Sorry,
Save
okay.
that.
Save it.
Ken Jeong.
No, she already said Ken Jeong.
I
Oh,
said
damn it. See?
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Fuck. God, dude, I'm gonna start saying Bruce Lee, dude.
You can use Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
Aha, Bruce Lee.
See-
Haha.
Okay, Jackie Chan. Haha.
No, Jackie Chan's not a Western Asian.
Oh fuck. Okay. Hassan Minhaj.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm bringing
that's
I'm
good.
bringing the brown folks. I'm bringing the Desi people.
Mindy Kaling.
Oh, fuck.
This opened up a whole thing.
Yeah,
Desi people.
Wait,
Oh, man, we already
I
said
mean, there
conscious.
are obviously more.
Okay.
Lucy Liu.
Aziz Ansari.
Alan Yang.
Who's that?
Alan Yang.
Oh, Alan Yang. Alan Yang. Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
Right? I know we're all like now we're all like struggling here. This is really difficult.
Oh god. I
It's
think we're out.
tough. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
are we
okay,
out?
but we're also doing we're doing Indian people.
Okay, we're doing South
It counts
Asian.
as
I think we're putting too much pressure on ourselves as well.
We are putting a lot of
Yeah,
pressure
just
on
relax. Just take a breath for a second.
I swear to God, I'm at my own friends now. I'm at
No,
the
but you
list
can't though. Stay in
know.
Hollywood.
I'm
Think
gonna
about
try
just
to-
start thinking about TV shows. Game of Thrones. They're not in Game of Thrones.
There's
Sorry.
nudity in
There's
Game of
nobody in
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
There's
Ooh.
Come
Come on, Mike.
on, hold
You're the
on.
co-captain of this podcast. Asian
I
Not Asian.
know,
People are watching. Think of famous chefs.
Momofuku.
Don't
see,
help him. Don't fucking help him.
well, I'm trying to remember his name now. I can't remember people's names. You know how I'm bad.
Oh
with
yeah, you're really
names.
bad with names.
I'm really bad with names. This is really
His name
difficult.
is David Chang.
David Chang.
Okay.
Yay.
Chrissy Teigen.
Oh,
Nice. Oh,
yes,
you're going
yes,
to
yes.
half. You're going to half Asians too.
Yeah, I got half.
I like
you said
that.
Harry Golden.
No, I'm not hating.
Yeah,
I'm not hating.
Hey, don't hate on the halfies. They're
I'm
out
not hating.
there.
I'm not hating.
We
That's
love you,
cool.
halfies.
That's cool.
Go ahead.
Harry
yes,
Con-
I love it. You're going half.
Are you going? You're going mixed race.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like.
going
Hey,
mixed
I
race.
respect
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But they definitely count.
We already said Hari Kondavalu.
Did we?
Yeah, Mike said it earlier.
Oh shit. Okay. I had one.
Oh, we haven't said
You
Hari
said-
Kondo.
We haven't. We haven't.
I said Kumail
don't-
Nanjiani.
Oh, okay, fine. Sorry for being racist. Yes, go ahead.
You can say
Okay,
that.
Hari
Did
Kondo,
we
go
just
ahead.
confuse one brown comic for another brown comic?
Go ahead. Someone needs to keep tabs on this.
Here's a tricky one. Here's one, and I think it's cool. Naomi Osaka.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
more active here.
Yeah.
Dev Patel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah, that's nice.
Ooh, I'm better at
John
this game than I
Cho. John Cho.
Oh, how could we forget the
John
original?
Cho.
The
Yeah.
original. I'm not helping you anymore.
No, you can't help me
I
anymore.
think this game dies here.
I think we should.
Oh, no.
I'm happy to take the hit. I'm fine with that.
You know what? Here, you can choose to eliminate, and it'll just be me and Evelyn, and we'll go until there's. a
Oh,
winner.
okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, I'm happy to bow out. Yeah.
He died.
I died. I died.
Okay, Mike. Okay.
Pac-Man.
So
I
it's just
died.
me and you,
gosh.
and all the names we said count already. Okay.
Yeah.
Nick Jonas's wife, Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Steven Yeun.
How do we not say that already?
We're stupid.
Nominated for an Oscar.
Okay.
Ooh. What's that?
Timothy Chantarangsu or Timothy DeLaGhetto.
Whoa.
MTV Wild Now.
Hold on here. I'm gonna have to. The judge is gonna have to check on how
is he-
prominent this Asian person is.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, he's got I don't know
Good.
5 million.
It's
Okay,
good.
go ahead.
It's good.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the guy who's in Glee, and then at the end of the Crazy Rich
Oh,
Asian
yeah.
movie, he's really good
really
looking,
hot.
and I can't remember his name. But so I'll say somebody else. Shang Wang, is he prominent?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
whoa, shit.
Oh shit, that counts.
Okay, see, hold on here. We're getting to people we know. Okay, see what we're doing?
I know, but he's famous.
No, I'm not saying. I'm
Okay.
gonna allow it. I'm gonna allow it.
Okay, this is my last one though. Olivia Rodrigo. Did you know she's Filipino?
Oh yeah.
Nobody talks about
didn't know
that.
that.
Isn't that crazy? It's Asian month and nobody. She literally has the most popular song in the fucking world right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about how Asian she is. She's Filipino.
Really?
Yeah.
Shay Mitchell's Filipina as well, and Margaret
No
Cho.
idea who that is.
We have
Margaret Cho. Fuck. Okay.
We should have.
You know what? We can't hate on these white people anymore.
No, but we they would not make. We're at like what round 12. They wouldn't have made it this far. They'd be like none, and then they're done.
Yeah.
No, I would not. For the anals, I cannot lose here. Mike.
Here's how
I
about
cannot lose
another person who's mixed race
I mean, I know if you
now
brought it-
now dating John Mulaney.
Oh shit.
Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vera Wang.
Who's that?
Okay, Vera Wang, designer.
Jimmy
Designer.
Choo. Is that a person?
Yeah, David Choo is a person.
Yeah.
Wow, we're gonna do. We should have gone here.
We should have gone there.
Yeah.
This is Mike's territory.
Hey, hold on
right
here. You're not on your phone, right?
No,
you're
I'm
definitely on
writing
your
down.
fucking phone.
Oh yeah, you did Jimmy Choo. Who's that other designer who's called like Alex something? Well, okay, the
Yes.
guy from Glee is Harry something, right? Harry.
Yes. Starts with an S.
Harry Shum.
Yes.
Alexander Wang.
Yes.
Alexander Wang. That's right. Oh
That's a
gosh.
good one.
Oh no. Oh, what's the guy from Star Trek? The old man from Star Trek.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How do we forget that the original?
The original, the OG.
OG.
Ken. No.
No.
Oh.
George.
George Takei.
Yes. Nice.
Takei.
Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
VP. Yeah. There you go.
Oh no. Cal Penn.
Steve Byrne.
Who?
Steve Byrne.
Oh, Steve
What a
Byrne.
pull.
Half Korean, half Korean.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's half Korean.
There should be like some kind of tech person who's Asian and famous, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's lots from Zappos.
Zappos.
You can't use Jack Ma. He's straight up Chinese.
Not Jack.
Oh yeah, he is. Now I'm stuck here.
You're happy to surrender if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what would be crazy if you just named some obscure Swedish person we didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Evelyn
Bjorgen.
Mok.
Wait, how
Twang.
could you possibly forget your own creative partner?
Oh.
Is he? I mean, is he?
We're gonna
Yeah, I
allow
get-
it. We're gonna
okay.
allow YouTube. We're allowing.
All right,
YouTube.
Nigel Ung.
Look how she's so upset.
Oh my god.
So reluctant.
Oh, but I guess they're like authors, you know.
All right.
But
Oh,
are
he's
they
so
that's
upset.
famous
right.
though?
Oh,
Like,
fair
if
enough.
you
I mean,
know
they're
what I
prominent.
Like, nobody knows who that guy is. You know, like.
Yeah,
on
but
the
if we're
street.
gonna name, if we're gonna,
Well,
name,
we're like really struggling here. You know, we're like, did we really tap all the A list?
No, of course not. We're stupid. You know what it is? Is that
Oh, I
we
have
are.
a few now.
This is kind of revealing something. Is that like even for us professional Asians,
Yeah.
as Vietnam Nguyen says, right? Like us, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We just really gotta like start getting these names out there.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is kind of just proof, I feel, that we all gotta aspire to be none. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gotta be top of the list because we gotta beat Bruce Lee, Jackie
Dude,
Chan.
maybe this is more of an aspirational thing from the white people. Be like, hey, top spot's open, boys.
Hey, hey guys,
Top spot is open.
you know what? Evelyn could knock none out of the park.
This could be Asian, not Asian. This is
Yeah.
You're right.
You know what? Now
Wow.
that
Thank
you
you,
said
whites.
Thank you, white people.
Thank you, the whites.
Okay. You know what it means? Because it's like number 2 is Jackie Chan, number 3 is Bruce Lee,
This is actually a
number 1, fill your own name.
This is a motivational
This is
poster.
a motivational poster. I'm printing this out. I'm putting myself in there.
If you're any teachers, put this on your goddamn classrooms, okay?
Wow. So
We
Wow,
cannot
we did it.
end this episode by thanking the whites.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Guys, this was our episode. Evelyn, this was great. We're gonna just call it. We're gonna call it a tie, and I hope to
Yep.
do a duel with you another time when we do our research. This was a great episode. Thanks so much for doing it. Where can our fans find you?
I am on @Evelyn Mok on Instagram and Rice to Meet You Pod. If you guys want to ditch ANA or anal,
They would never. They would never.
Come
you
to
can
ours.
find. Oh
No.
yes. Go ahead. Oh, but don't you have a show coming out or something? Like a sitcom you said you're writing?
oh, I'm in development. I'm always developing stuff, but nothing's been commissioned yet. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if it does.
Follow Evelyn on the socials and see what she's up to, man. You
Yes, and you can always find us on social media at Asian Not Asian Pod. I'm also on there at the Fumiabe. That's TheFumiAbe.
know? And you can find me on Instagram at Nice Pants Bro.
If you are a iPhone listener, please leave a review and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod, and give us your money and you get bonus content like monthly bonus episodes, behind the scene footage. We slide into your DMs. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
Wow.
This was a monster episode.
This is crazy.
Because it was awesome. We got real deep in there. We got into
did.
the jazz.
We got into the jazz of
into
it.
the jazz.
We got real.
Sex tourism, all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
sex tourism. You know,
We
gotta-
ended up
we didn't
thanking
even
the
do
whites.
Yo-Yo Ma. Shit.
So now
Music.
we're all gonna be like walking down the stairs later and be like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Lulu
anyways,
Wang.
Lulu Wang.
Lulu
See,
Wang.
there you go. Okay.
So
now we got 'em.
if you're listening, please play that game yourself and really do a reflection on like what kind of Asian American you are, you know? So this has been great. And Anals, we love you and we're gonna see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.